So after a few changes of plans this evening, I ended up heading into Subiaco, and I went and saw Three Secrets by Existence Theatre. I wasn't really sure what to expect because it quite clearly says that they encourage participation and that some parts of it you can either be a spectator or immerse yourself in the work. And I usually avoid participatory theatre. I don't know, the unknown just makes me a little bit nervous. But I was like, oh, okay, I'm here. Let's go check out this show and see what it's all about. So I had a little read up about it before I went in. And basically what they're talking about is the whole idea that as humans in our contemporary society, we lack the ability to connect and interact, and that even with our increased connection on social media, we have a form of social isolation, and that we start to create these ideas around what is normal and what is culturally acceptable, when in reality those ideas may be a little bit off kilter because we don't have that connection. And then it also looks at the individual and how we have these emotions and ideas and thought processes that we just can't express, and that we're not expressing, which is why I believe they wanted to break down that barrier between performer and audience member. So there's that encouragement of connection. Really hard for me to engage to start with because it is quite post-dramatic in the sense that it's not your traditional well-made play. So there's three performers, and they very rarely interact. Majority of the time it's a 80-something minute show, and it's pretty much three monologues overlapping each other. What I found really interesting is that after a while, you start to zone in on the ideas that are connecting most to you at the time. And for me, that flipped between all three performers. There were different things that I picked up in different places. And they encourage you to then make connections with your own thoughts, memories, feelings, and find where those things connect in your life. Which, yeah, was really, really interesting. Had a couple little moments in there. Like I said, usually avoid participatory theatre. There was one moment where one of the actors just came and touched my cheek. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. It was nice. It was a connection. It was a moment. And then later on in the piece, same performer came up and took me by the hand. And I was in my head going, oh shit, what's going on? And she just invited me up into the space and we danced, just moving around. And okay, for those of you that know me, I'm got a dance background. I don't dance in public. Most dancers can do about a two-step in the club. That's about it. But it was really strange because once we got moving, there was a freedom. It was almost as if the audience wasn't there. And in some strange way, it's almost like that was what I needed at the time. And I spoke with her afterwards quite briefly, but I got to have a chat with her afterwards, and she said that they discussed the fact that there's not a certain person to go to, but in most cases, there's something that just pulls you to a certain person. There's some sort of connection, some sort of pulse or spark as to who to bring up. And yeah, I totally got that tonight. And then I sat down and I was like, you know what? I was more open, I was more engaged and just willing to take on what was happening. So although it was hard to get into to start with, I really appreciated the fact that I went and saw this show. which was literally spur of the moment. I booked my ticket 45 minutes before the show started. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to go and see these guys, or even just see some of their work, go for it. It's a really interesting experience.